great municipal golf course. Come over and check out DW Field Golf Course here in the city of Brockton. We've made a major investment in the DW Field Golf Course this year. The playing conditions are spectacular. It's an 18-hole public course. We are serving beer and wine now. We're able to handle tournaments there now. So come on over and check out DW Field Golf Course.
Recently, I had a chance to join John Jerzyk, the president of the Good Samaritan Medical Center, for a tour of the facility. In particular, we had a chance to see the brand new emergency services area, along with the trauma room, the cardiac catheterization lab, and the special care nursery for newborns. Join me as we take a walk through the Good Samaritan Hospital.
When patients come in, if there is open beds, they just come in.
Oh.
If it's later in the day and there are no open beds, they get triaged out here. We're able to send lab work on them. We're able to give medications out here. We have a rapid assessment provider, which is a mid-level provider, out here at 2 o'clock, so people are seen when they walk in the door, basically.
So there's
get going.
some at least preliminary treatment
Absolutely,
right away
yeah.
while you're waiting to get
Lab
them into an
work,
actual
simple
ER bed.
X-rays,
Yeah.
things like that. This is our critical room.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have 2 beds here. We have OR overhead lighting here. We have enough oxygen setups for 6 people. So theoretically, if we had a large
An accident with a number of victims,
we'd be able to put about 6 people in this room.
Wow, wow.
Yep, and we have our rescue equipment here for 9 ambulances, and then we have another like offload space down there. We also have a helicopter pad just beyond that. We don't get people here, but they'll sometimes
send them out
utilize it in
sometimes,
the community, and we'll send people out.
Yeah.
So
this is all new out here now too, right? Yeah.
This is something that is really nice for the EMS providers. In the old emergency department, they simply had a counter, but when we built the new one, we thought about them, and we actually have a workroom for them. So
Wow.
they'll be able to come in, they do their computer work, they print
So
it
these are
off.
for the EMTs that are coming in on the ambulances, and when they deliver someone to you, they've got some paperwork
And
of
they've
their
got a
own that
place
they
to
have to
do it.
complete so they can sit down and...
We
Yeah.
have very good working relationships with the pre-hospital providers.
Really?
We do. We actually
Yeah.
have this, which I think is
Oh,
like
yeah.
our pride and joy. It was an eco project of a young man from Easton.
Wow.
Every patch from every community fire department in Massachusetts. So half of it here and half of it out there.
Wow.
So it's a nice little tribute.
That's amazing, yeah.
Well, the emergency department represents the front door of the hospital. Majority of our patients who are admitted to the hospital come through the emergency
That's
department.
correct.
Yeah.
And when you consider anyone who comes by ambulance, 80% chance that you'll be admitted if you come in by ambulance.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
It is definitely our front door.
Yeah, I can think, I mean, that makes perfect sense. I know my years raising 6 kids, you know, we didn't have very many admissions, but we had a lot of trips to the emergency room over the years.
Very
So
true.
I think this is probably the part that the public is most likely to identify you with.
Good.
Carpenter.
Berger.
Nice to
Very
meet you,
nice to
Dr.
meet you.
Berger. Great to appreciate
Dominic, how are you, John?
bringing us in for take a look around.
Well, this is the cardiac cath lab, which we're very proud of and very excited about.
Now, for folks that don't know what a cardiac cath lab is, can you just give me a little background as to...
It's basically an X-ray room.
Yeah.
It's about $1 million room, and we
Wow.
do a procedure called a cardiac catheterization, which
Yeah.
is an X-ray test.
Yeah,
So we put an IV in the wrist or in the leg and take pictures with X-ray dye to look to see if people have blockages in the arteries of the heart.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if so, to fix them with balloons and little metal coils called
so you actually
stents.
do those procedures right in
Those
here?
procedures right here. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're actually very busy. We've grown about 50% in volume in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess for For a 57-year-old male who doesn't eat properly or exercise like he should, I better take a good look around. Huh?
Our last 3 MIs
This
were,
mayor job is killing me.
a national goal called door to balloon time, from when the time a patient rolls through your emergency room door until the time you actually restore flow down an artery. Because with a heart attack, an artery is 100% blocked typically.
Okay.
And the national goal was under 90 minutes, because the longer that artery is occluded, the more damage to the heart muscle, the lower the chance of survival from the heart attack. We're averaging, you can probably tell me the numbers, but it's probably in the 40-minute range, 40 to 45
Really?
minutes.
So less than half or
Shortest
less
was
of the
15
national goal?
minutes.
Really?
We average in the 40s for door to balloon.
Now, does that get back to that whole triage thing at the front door of identifying someone properly to get them in?
Pre-hospital notification, most of the paramedics in the region are doing 12-lead electrocardiograms out in the field and on the streets, and they will radio ahead if they have somebody who they identify as having a heart attack, and if it's daytime or we're physically here, we'll actually meet them at the ambulance bay and take a quick look at the EKG. If it's real, we don't even stop in the emergency room. We're
Really?
straight here.
And that allows you to save a ton of
It
time.
saves a
then.
lot of time. Once you put somebody in a room, on average, it's about 45 minutes delay.
Right.
By the time they get evaluated and assessed.
So if you're given the notification on the way in, you're able to basically get them at the door and get them right in here if this is what they
We have a
need.
great partnership with the paramedics.
I'm a father of 6, so I've spent some time in maternity rooms over the years. So. And I don't think many of them were as nice as this, though.
This is one of our labor rooms.
Okay.
So our moms labor, deliver, and recover in the same room, and then they would move together as a couplet out to the maternity unit. We're a baby-friendly hospital, which means that this is a specific designation that our hospital has achieved. It's only the 6th hospital in the state of Massachusetts.
Really?
And first Stewart
As
Hospital.
baby-friendly.
Baby-friendly, which means that we promote the mother-baby couplet, skin-to-skin bonding. We educate our patients on the benefits of breastfeeding as the best choice, but we also support mother's choice. Giving them the opportunity. But evidence-based research has shown that it's best for moms and babies to stay together, so that's what we try to promote.
So even from right at the beginning of the experience, when the mom is coming in labor, basically just coming into one room and staying here until till after the birth and ready to move into an overnight room. You're talking about one of the most famous hospitals in the world. And that, I think, just the reassurance that would give to the parents of a baby who has a special need or a risk of some sort, the fact that the Children's Hospital connection begins right here. And if they have to go into Children's, you've got the mechanism to get them back here as soon as you can.
Correct. And
Get 'em back
if a
close to
baby
home.
had to go into Boston, there's a specialized team that comes right here from Children's with a specialized isolate to move the baby
Really?
right into town.
Wow.
You know, whether it be Children's or sometimes they would go to St. Elizabeth's.
Depending, yeah.
help
Now, I'm just curious about how many babies a year are born here at
Just about
Good Sam.
1,000 right now.
1,000? Yeah.
But we're
We
hoping to
can't
increase
register them
that.
to vote right then, right away. It's just-
Should put it on the birth certificate like the driver's license.
We play music overhead every time there's a new baby delivered, so you can
Is
look
that
at
right?
that as
Yeah.
future
The lullaby.
constituents.
Really? That's
It's
nice.
It's a nice thing. When I became the manager, we put that into effect.
Yeah.
And it just lets everybody in the hospital like stop
Yeah.
for a second and go, oh, a new life was
Well,
just...
I mean, I could see that with life in a hospital where you deal with so much illness and pain and things like that, that
positive.
this is the department where it's really positive, yeah.
After all these years, every time a baby's born, I still get goosebumps.
Still get excited, yeah.
I still get that feeling of,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
you know, praise God.
Yeah.
Visit us
Thanks
at
very
Good
much.
Samaritan.
And welcome to Brockton. It's
Thank
great
you
to
very
have
much.
you here, and we're certainly looking forward to working with you, and particularly
as are we.
in outreach efforts into the community. Anytime we
Very
can
good.
partner
We're
on
a
something,
community partner,
we'd love
so
to do that.
Please call on us.
All right, sounds
All
great.
right,
Thank you, John. Great to
All
see
righty.
you.
One of the worst intersections in the city of Brockton is
North Main and Oak. We probably find, what do you think about 2 cars that going on the red
At
light
least, yes.
every cycle?
But if your license is suspended, sir, then why would you be driving? When people go against the laws, that creates havoc. And that's a problem for any community.
They're looking for speeders, drunk drivers, crosswalk violations, and more.
Your safety is our concern.
That's why we out enforce.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Great municipal golf course. Come over and check out DW Field Golf Course here in the city of Brockton. We've made a major investment in the DW Field Golf Course this year. The playing conditions are spectacular. It's an 18-hole public course. We are serving beer and wine now. We're able to handle tournaments there now. So come on over and check out DW Field Golf Course.
Yo.
Jason, how you doing?
Good morning. How's it going?
Good.
Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to show you around the store, show you what we do at Vicente's, and show you different departments that we have, different products that we carry, and any questions you have, ask away. And
sounds great. You know, I've been here a number of times, but I think it'd be great for the viewers of the show, hearing a lot about what you're going to be developing in downtown Brockton with the new Vicente Superstore, to have a little idea of the background of your business here and what Vicente's Market is all about.
We'll be glad to show you around. We appreciate it.
All right, show me the store.
All right, so coming into this department, we have our produce. We did a remodel here about 3 years ago. So just our apples, the oranges, and we come up with some grapes and our greens. Our greens are always fresh. We go to the market every single day to buy our produce. So we don't put our produce in a wholesaler and stick it in a warehouse where it sits for 3 days.
Yeah.
We go to the market today. My uncle's here. He wakes up 4 o'clock in the morning, buys the produce, comes down by 9 a.m. He's here, and everything's fresh, as you can see. Fresh parsley, fresh watercress, cilantro, green onions, scallions, and collard greens. Collard greens is a Cape Verdean staple, a Haitian staple, so we sell a ton of collard greens. And like you can see with the water spraying down right now, everything's always kept fresh here. So this is one of our staples.
So let me ask you, Jason, you obviously, you know, a large part of your target market is the Cape Verdean Haitian communities here in the city of Brockton.
Absolutely.
So maybe as we go through kind of being a tropical supermarket, or maybe a Caribbean supermarket is another word we could use, that you could point out some of the things that for our non-Cape Verdean, non-Haitian viewers, you know, where your store may differ a little bit than the, you know, the Stop and Shops and Shaws.
Absolutely. As we walk around, I'm going to do my best to kind of show you what makes us a little bit different from our competitors and why our customers like coming here, because we know how to cater to our community more than these other supermarkets.
And particularly, I know if you try to get in here on a Friday or a Saturday, I mean, you can't even get in the parking lot. So there's a reason why you've built up the following you have, and that you're ready to expand to a second larger store in Brockton.
That's primarily where we're listening to our customers, and they're asking us to find another location so they can come shopping here and park somewhere. So that's why we're making that investment down in Pleasant Street, to be able to accommodate our customers and provide more to the community. Now your hot sauces, which you know is huge. You have your Matoots hot sauce. Again,
so that's a great example. If you look at that display, not that Shaw's doesn't carry hot sauce, but they don't have this variety and this size of inventory on hand.
Exactly, and they typically buy direct and from the wholesaler, so it's kind of difficult for your supermarkets to really carry a different mix, where being an independent and catering to the community, that's how some of our advantages.
So by being an independent, you really can target exactly what your product line is.
Exactly, and then being a big chain, is the whole corporate structure, there's too much going on where they have to be so meticulous in what they can carry. For us, it's me and my family, and if a customer wants something, we're going to get it for them.
Yeah, sounds great. So we're here in Derry, and obviously, I mean, for folks that haven't been to Vicente's, I mean, you are very similar to what you would expect in any other typical supermarket. You know, a good percentage of this is all the same stuff. It's just the fact that some of the product lines are a little bit different, and you may tend to carry some items that the big corporate box stores may not have.
Exactly. Well, we tend to have everything you can find in a typical supermarket, plus the extra that the other supermarkets don't carry, all the tropical products.
Now, I've almost always had the feel when I come in your store that you're almost looking for that blend or hybrid between, you know, a market that we might find, you know, an old market that we might find in Cape Verde or Haiti or any other Caribbean country where people are used to shopping one way, and the big American superstore, supermarket, it almost seems like you try to incorporate elements of both.
Yes, and that's one of our strategies to accommodate everybody. You know, over here you still want to cook the way you cook at home, and as you come to America, you adapt to the culture, so you tend to eat the same as we eat here in America. So it is just like you say, it's that hybrid of having everything and making it easy for them to shop that way.
Right, awesome, that's great. So let's keep looking around the store,
So some of our spices and seasonings that we carry over here, it's a great selection. You have your garlic pepper, your curry powder, your jerk seasonings, and just a different mix. You can just come down here again. A lot of spices.
Now, here's something I got to tell you, Jason.
Oh yeah.
I might be Irish. I use adobo on everything. Chicken, beef, you name it. I love adobo. I even put it inside my hamburgers.
It's one of our top selling items, and it does very well. So, and also sazon. Sazon's a very popular item that customers tend to buy here. So, Bill, what we do here is a warehouse, rice warehouse stacking area where we carry all different types of rices, and all these rices are discounted because we buy in bulk.
The bulk.
And what we do for our customers is give them the best price in Brockton that they can find in rice, and then that's something.
So
that
this is for families. Now, so what is this right here then?
So what we do is like I said, we buy in bulk, so then we can package for our customers and be able to offer them a discount.
But you also offer wholesale too, then, or wholesale quantities, or no?
If a customer or a restaurant comes in, they would buy some wholesale directly on the premises, but not going around and selling wholesale. But we would provide that service if our customers.
But this just, I guess, indicates how much volume you do around rice and beans.
Absolutely.
Now, I like both. I love pastels. We actually had pastels for lunch one day last week in the mayor's office. So how
was it?
Awesome. I think I ate more than anybody. I'm a huge believer in the pastels.
And it's good price.
But this is obviously we're filming this in the early part of the day in the morning. So what you have out right now is some of your items, not necessarily everything that would be out at dinner time.
So we serve lunch at 10:30. So this is what we carry from 8 to 10:30. And once 10:30 comes around, we'll still have the selection. We'll move it over. We have a huge case over here, and we'll carry fish, chicken, beef, maybe 2 types of fish.
So the prepared foods are a big part of your business here.
Prepared food is huge here. And I think if there's one thing that you would ask me, what separates us from everyone else, is this: we pride ourselves on prepared food, and we pride ourselves on getting better at it each and every day.
So you've got a certain percentage of the customers coming in here are coming in as they would to a takeout restaurant, not necessarily doing their food shopping, but coming in to buy lunch or buy dinner already prepared, ready to eat.
Absolutely, and it's a convenience. It's local, it's quick, and it's just, you can come on in, grab it. We serve our customers really quick, and we get them in and we get them out. And
so is this a little bit of an Americanization of some of this food and culture from Cape Verde? Because I would guess, are there a lot of places we just walk in Cape Verde and buy prepared food, or not so typically?
Well, I think you hit it on the money when you said this, the American way of just grabbing and go. So you're taking the lifestyle here in America, you're trying to adapt it to
incorporate it to the cultural foods that people want to eat. And tell us this dish right here. What is that?
So this is cachupa refogado. If I said it right. But that's the typical dish in the morning. And that's just a corned beef stew.
I was going to say, now, cachupa, I've had cachupa before. Very popular in the breakfast places. So for someone Irish like me, the closest comparison is corned beef hash. It's kind of like a Cape Verdean version of corned beef hash that my family would be familiar with. You know,
I never thought about it in that way, but now that you put it, I think I'm going to have to talk to my customers. I'm describing it and saying it's just like a corned beef hash. I appreciate that.
You do have beer and wine here also at Vicente's. And I guess this perhaps is where the cultural aspect comes in a little bit, because wine being a staple of the Cape Verdean culture in terms of having dinner, you probably have a much wider variety of wines here than maybe the average person would expect in a typical supermarket wine department.
Absolutely. And you know, I don't mean to keep repeating, but what you mentioned earlier is just having the hybrid, having your traditional wine, your traditional beer, and having the wine and beer that you would have back home.
Yeah.
So we try to carry the selection that our customers are looking for,
Yeah.
and at the right price. And right now we're doing a wine remodel.
Okay.
We just got our license to
Yeah.
expand over to this,
Okay.
to this side.
Yeah.
So, but as you can see, we're carrying.
But there's a wide selection of all types of wines.
Yes.
Now, what type of wine would be popular in Cape Verde? If I'm going to visit Cape Verde next month, when I sit down and have dinner, what type of wine do you think they might put on the table?
Well, what you can see right here, we have wine that's imported. So
Yeah.
you have your Vinho de Fogo, which is very popular, and you have your Porto wine, which
So
is
this
also
is
popular.
this wine is actually produced on Fogo, one of the islands in Cape Verde.
Yeah, I think Santino.
Yes. Yeah.
Is the one importing it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And just your Portuguese wine, also your Vinho Quinado,
Yeah.
your Dow, and another selection of Vinho Quinado. Those are
So one thing I have noticed, it is interesting, particularly if I go out to some of the Caribbean restaurants, there is some crossover in terms of what's popular between, say, Cape Verdean, Portuguese, and Brazilian. I mean, the similarities in the cultures.
Yes.
You know, I've been places where they may serve a Brazilian liquor or a Brazilian wine as part of a Cape Verdean meal.
I think it depends on how you grew up on the wine.
Yeah.
So what were you served? At your family dinner.
Yeah.
And that taste just resonates with you over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And as you get older and you come over here in the States, when you have that same wine that you had at back home, it tends to bring you back.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling that you get having a wine from back home. So having a wine that connects with the customer. And a wine that they grew up on is very important.
But we are in Brockton with our Rocky Marciano and many of our Italian friends. It is important to note he does also carry Carlo Rossi, so a little bit of everything for everyone.
And it's very popular also.
A large section, yeah. So Jason, I want to thank you for taking the time to bring me for the tour through Vicente's Market down here in South Main Street. I think the most exciting thing for me is thinking about your plans for the new Super Vicente's in downtown Brockton on the corner of Warren Avenue and Pleasant Street. I know the plans are well underway. Hopefully at this time next year, you're taking me for a tour of the new Vicente Superstore in downtown Brockton.
Bill, it's not a problem. We're actually excited to walk you around and show you our supermarket, our current supermarket. And once we open up the new supermarket, we're going to be more than glad to walk you around and show you what we have to offer there. And I think what you got here is just a taste of what we're going to offer over at the new supermarket. So we're excited, our family's excited, our customers are excited, and we're just super excited to show the city what we've been working so hard on.
And the new store will be bigger, better, convenient, and provide Brockton jobs for Brockton people, which is something the mayor's always concerned about.
Absolutely, and that's one of our biggest things is providing jobs at the new supermarket and also being the hub of Brockton and using our supermarket as a focus and as a community center, bringing everyone together and planning and coming up with ideas and all sorts of events. So we really want to use our supermarket not only as a supermarket, but as a hub to bring the community together and really voice their opinion on what's going on. So that's just another piece of what we're trying to bring to the city in this new supermarket.
Well, Jason, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me to the store today. Thank you.
Strategically looking at sites like this, some of you remember this house. It was vacant, abandoned. It wasn't foreclosed upon. It was caught up in a dilemma. We put it through the receivership program, and this is the outcome.
Is not only when we do a project to completion like this, but it also makes those notifications that we're looking at a property for receivership much more effective when we have an absentee, irresponsible property owner has a little more motivation to come secure and take care of their property, knowing that we will follow through with putting it in receivership if they don't. All that building that people see going up right now, that will be all housing.
That's all housing.
And down at the end, near the Montello corners, where the artist housing will be.
Correct.
And we'll talk about that in a little more detail when we get. Hey Mary, how are you?
Mary.
Very nice to see you. The whole kit and caboodle for you here, all right? I told them this is one of my favorite lunches too. So when they get done working me, they're going to let me sit down and have one. Yeah. They said they don't feed me until I'm done working.
One of the worst intersections in the city of Brockton is
North Main and Oak. We probably find, what do you think about 2 cars that go in the red light
least, yes.
every cycle?
But if your license is suspended, sir, then why would you be driving? When people go against the laws, that creates havoc. And that's a problem for any community.
They're looking for speeders, drunk drivers, crosswalk violations, and more.
Your safety is our concern.
That's why we out in force.
Great municipal golf course. Come over and check out DW Field Golf Course here in the city of Brockton. We've made a major investment in the DW Field Golf Course this year. The playing conditions are spectacular. It's an 18-hole public course. We are serving beer and wine now. We're able to handle tournaments there now. So come on over and check out DW Field Golf Course.
That'll just about do it for this week's edition of Shoe City Scoop. Thanks for joining me. Hey, if you have a question or a comment for the mayor, please send me an email to the mayor's mailbag at mayorbillcarpenter@gmail.com. mayorbillcarpenter@gmail.com, and your question or comment may make it onto a future edition of the show. Be sure to join us for our next edition of Shoe City Scoop. You can find us right here on BCA Channel 12 or online at youtube.com/MayorBillCarpenter. Thanks for watching.
Strategically looking at sites like this. Some of you remember this house. It was vacant, abandoned. It wasn't foreclosed upon. It was caught up in a dilemma. We put it through the receivership program, and this is the outcome.
Is not only when we do a project to completion like this, but it also makes those notifications that we're looking at a property for receivership much more effective when we have an absentee, irresponsible property owner has a little more motivation to come secure and take care of their property, knowing that we will follow through with putting it in receivership if they don't. All that building that people see going up right now, that will be all housing.
That's all housing.
And down at the end, near the Montello corners, where the artist housing will be.
Correct.
And we'll talk about that in a little more detail when we get. Hey Mary, how are you?
Mary.
Very nice to see you. The whole kit and caboodle for you here, all right? I told them this is one of my favorite lunches too. So when they get done working me, they're going to let me sit down and have one. Yeah.
We're not
They
done
said
working 'em yet.
they said they don't feed me until I'm done working.